This last question here, I'm kind of glad that we've left a good chunk of time for it because it can have so many answers. We may not even get to everything, but we'll try. Our ads are bringing in calls and emails, but nothing of value. Lots of salesy emails and scams. That one's a huge one. That's something that we have also experienced, that we have done a lot of work to not have it happen. It doesn't happen so much anymore. Actually, not really much at all, but it can happen quite a bit, and it's a very commonly, a frequently asked question as far as ads. David, did you want to start with that one?
Yeah, so what I was just kind of touching on a moment ago, like, yeah, you get people to take action. They're going through, we can call your funnel, right? So, you know, in the sales process, the marketing process, you have a funnel where people kind of enter the top of that funnel. You want to take them on a journey, ultimately taking the action you need. You'd like them to become a customer or buy something, that sort of deal. You get them to your landing page on your website from clicking the ad. So that's great so far. But depending on how the ad campaign was set up, the language, how the landing page is, you still have this issue or wondering where is it the right kind of customer, right? You know, how much of your marketing effort went into to really pre-qualifying or giving people, you know, this idea. We've used this on a previous chat called the call to inaction, right? So this concept of, you know, making sure people know that, yeah, this is the kind of company to help me, because, you know, even if it's like a plumbing company, right? Well, there's residential plumbers, there's commercial plumbers. If you're somebody with a house and not a business, you probably don't want to be trying to reach out to a commercial plumbing company because they're not going to be well suited to help you. So what I imagine happens a lot in this kind of scenario, one of them is, if there's nothing of value coming in from those ads, is it's just really poor alignment. You know, the marketing is not honing in there. But then, you know, this other side of it is the salesy stuff and the scams. You know, as it is, you know, there's other companies out there who, you know, I don't know, it's not really sad. I don't want to say that. Let me back up. It's a reality that there's other businesses out there that are trying to sell to other businesses. The B2B space, it's huge, right? You know, I get it all the time. I try to help other businesses. And so one way to find people who can help is searching for those businesses based on something like a keyword that aligns, like commercial plumbers in Denver or whatever, right? And I could find some people I could help with commercial plumbing websites. It might turn out that somebody who is a commercial plumber in Denver is not interested in receiving sales calls to their advertising, but it could be an easy way to just get in touch with those people quickly because you didn't have a captive audience on that sales cycle. And then maybe you can, you know, talk to the salesperson for the plumbing. It's like, hey, are you getting all the kind of sales you want? Hey, well, no, but you're not helping it at the moment because you're taking up my phone time. So that can happen, yeah.
And that's something else we've experienced too. And what we did at Denverdata Web was we implemented in-market audiences, which can help kind of target those ads to people with professions or interests that mirror the target audience that we want to have, rather than someone who's going to sell us something. And in-market audiences is it would be, God, I don't have it in front of me. I wish I would have pulled it up, but we're not going to waste the time to do that. It's pretty easy to find once you're in the platform. It's under audiences, just I think in-market audiences. And from there, it'll give you suggestions on like different ways you can find your target audience. Some of them are a little bit vague sounding at first, but there is probably usually a little description for each, describing what the audience is and how, and if you should add it or not, if it mirrors your target audience. At the same time, if you had a campaign that did really well and it reached really good potential clients and marketing qualified leads, you can find a way to go in and find those lookalike audiences, and you can actually implement those on multiple campaigns. And that's a really cool way to do that as well. In addition to that, there's so many things we can do for this one. As far as location targeting, that's a huge one. Mm-hmm. If you strictly work in Denver, you're located in Denver, you only provide HVAC services in Denver, but you're getting a lot of calls from Texas or Illinois. It could just be that you have your location targeting not set up properly. It could be that you have it, if you don't have location targeting on, or there's a weird little thing in Google, and I wrote down exactly what it's called here, but there's
I think I know exactly what you're thinking of, but it's a
Okay.
little checkbox when you update those. It's like, do you want it
Yep.
to be the location associated with people who have an affinity or interest in that area versus
I wrote
actually
down
being
the
there?
exact wording because I knew we'd get stuck on this. It would be presence, people in or regularly in your targeted locations. That's the one that you definitely want. And the
Mhm.
other one is presence or interest, people in regularly in or who have showed interest in your target location. And Google actually has next to that recommended. However, as as someone who has seen this many times, I would not recommend that if you are doing location targeting, because then it tends to just bring in a lot of leads that are, or a lot of calls that are not actually people in those locations, which can get pretty confusing and can kind of waste a lot of money.
Yeah, if your ads don't speak very clearly, or even like your website, your landing pages throughout that flow about where you're, if you are geographically limited, like let's say you're more of like an in-person kind of service or a local service, and that's not really explained, it's entirely possible that, somebody who travels to Colorado all the time, but actually lives in Austin or something, they commute for work. And so they're thinking about Denver all the time, hey, where am I going to eat when I'm visiting next week or something, right? But then they're back home in Austin, like, oh, sink is stopped up. I need help for a plumber. And I started looking for a plumber. It's entirely possible that it might show up something for like Denver or something like that, right? I don't know for certain, but there's a lot of different things that go on with Google's algorithm. Um, if you don't have anything in your ad that says, hey, we serve the Denver area only, and that's all we do, they might call you up. It's like, hey, any help? It's like, oh, okay, when I can help you tonight. Is it an emergency? Yeah, I need someone here now. It's like, all right, well, what's your address? 123 Main Street, Austin. So it's going to take me a little while to get there. How bad's the emergency, right? You got to think about that stuff. You're right. There's some nuance to it, but it matters.
Actually, to be fair, Texas is, or Austin is only about 500 miles away ish. Could be totally wrong on that. But yeah, so that's exactly right. And there's a million situations where that could fail. So again, Google recommends one thing, but I recommend, and I'm sure a lot of other people will recommend, um, uh, to choose another one. And then the last thing I want to mention for that, and we could literally do a whole chat on this one, is bidding strategy. There's a bunch of different automated bidding strategies that you can choose. But unless your ads have been running for quite some time and Google really has the information to do those things in an automated fashion, I would strongly recommend we do the manual PPC and possibly even enhanced PPC if you have the budget for it. Hi, this is Sarah from Denverdata Web. Thanks for watching. Please like our video and subscribe for future digital strategy chats. You can also visit our website at denverdata.com or find us on social media at Denverdata Web.